What's going on, you guys? I hope you all are having a good day or a good night. If you're new to my channel, I'd like to say thank you for watching this and subscribing if you've done so already. My name is Ashley, also known as It's Ashley Though. Yes, I am a female. No, I'm not a man or a bro, but it's all good when people show love. So today I'm going to be showing you how I personally, keyword personally, sound design using Silent in FL Studio. I commonly do this whenever I want to create something with a Soulection-esque vibe. And what I mean by that is when I want to use jazz chords but have it smooth. I'm just going to say smooth for now because I don't know a better term for it. So for one thing I recommend if you want to follow along with this tutorial is get Silent by any means necessary. You do your thing and we'll just go ahead and get the ball rolling. So first thing you want to do once you have Silent is, of course, open it up and go to menu and initial preset. That way, once it's under the initial preset, you would just have a regular saw, and you can see all this by the wave here where my mouse is. You can scroll up for a saw, a sign, and then triangles and a whole bunch of other stuff. So the chords I'm going to be using is from a song or a beat that I made not too long ago called Summer's Cruise. Slight plug. If you haven't heard it already, I'd recommend listening to it and checking it out. So I'm going to go ahead and copy the chords that I already have for it and pasting it into a new pattern. Alright, here we go. Make sure this is assigned to a track. Alright, so I'm just going to let y'all hear the chords for what they are right now, and then we're going to alter everything in Silent. Now again, this is all about personal preference, so if this sounds good to you, you can do this with some slight EQing, or you can change it around. So what I typically like to do is find out the chords that I want you to use first and then sound design, but of course you can sound design first and then find the chords. It's either or. So what I typically do is up at the polyphony box here, I raise it to a number above 10. It doesn't necessarily have to be the highest, which is 16, but anything above 10. And then I go down to the voices under the oscillator A1. And again, it's all about personal preference. So the higher number you go, the more voices you'll have. So for instance, we're going to go with 1. And then we're going to go up. As you can hear, the higher you raise the number, the more full the sound sounds. So, you also want to turn off the retrig. That way the sound will keep on going instead of restarting from where the chord point is, or the beginning of the chord, excuse me. So that's off. And then at this point, I honestly just mess around and find out what sounds good. It's all about trial and error. So if it doesn't sound good the first time, what I always do is click on menu, initial preset, and it resets everything. So from this point, go from the voices, I go to detune. I'm going to raise the attack level. You notice how the starting point changes. Again, just mess around with the knob to whatever sounds good to you. Okay, now I'm about to move down to the filters, and then I'm going to move back up to the second oscillator to add another layer of sound. I'm going to go to a low pass filter. Got low pass, got a band pass, and then you got the high pass. This is the OVO-esque filter where everything's cut off. and it sounds muffled. Raise it, lower it. You'd be surprised with all the sound you can get based off of just one filter, the difference it makes. Okay, so I'm just going to leave that where it's at right now. I'm going to change it eventually. But now I'm going to move up to the second oscillator. And again, this is essentially adding another layer on top of what's already the saw wave. So again, I can make this a sine. I can make it another saw, or whichever I like. So I'm going to go ahead and go up an octave. Yeah, I'm going to go up an octave. Change this to 8 voices. And turn the detune up. And we'll see what that sounds like. Turn the filter off for now. Go up another octave, see what that sounds like. Sounds good for now. Now I'm going to go down here to the bottom where it says Portamento. I'm going to turn the slide on, and I'm going to raise this so that way you can hear the slide. Notice the difference from here to this. You see how much it's sliding. Cut off it. Again, just mess around with all these knobs. You'll eventually find something that you like. Okay, now I'm going to mess around with the cutoff filter in the LFO here. So what I'm going to do is click right here and go to cutoff A and B, which represents oscillators A and B, which essentially is up here too. And I'm going to turn this knob all the way up, and you'll hear the difference in a second. But what this will do is mess around with the gate per se of the cutoff filter. So I'll turn the gain up, and you'll hear it depending on how much I have the rate up. Okay, now personally, this sounds good enough for me. So what I'm going to do is drop it back into the playlist where I have the section of the song I want to use it in, and you will hear the what it sounds like. I'm going to switch from what I just made to what I already made, and you'll see how it'll flow together. So let's see. All right, I'm going to start it here. Okay, so at this stage, once you have your sound, you can EQ it however you want to. And that's pretty much it. And start to build everything else around it. Go to the bass, go to your drum selection and whatnot. So again, it's all up to you and what you want to do. So again, I thank you all for watching this. If you have any more suggestions on what you'd like for me to go over, if you want me to dive more into Soulection as far as sound design and putting everything together, just let me know. But until then, peace out, y'all.